This is 3 News Daily.
Hello and welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Tuesday, November 29th. I'm Stephanie Haney and we start with breaking news. The man found guilty in the deadly hit and run that killed a 3-year-old girl this summer has been sentenced to a minimum of 5 years in prison on at least one charge. Vance Christian pleaded guilty to 4 charges, including the felony of failure to stop. On July 21st, Cleveland police officers responded to a 911 call from Track Road and Lovekin Avenue. 3 bicyclists were struck by Vance's vehicle, and all 3 victims were taken to a Cleveland hospital where 3-year-old Izzy Hudsbath was pronounced dead. Police say the 2 others, ages 10 and 27, suffered minor injuries. Now, the man accused of hitting and killing Cleveland firefighter Johnny Tetrick was also in court this morning for the start of his criminal pretrial. Leander Bissell has been indicted on charges of murder, felonious assault, and vehicular homicide tied to the hit-and-run deadly crash on I-90 just a few weeks ago on November 19th. Tetrick was laid to rest over the weekend. He was a 27-year veteran of the Cleveland Fire Department and leaves behind 3 daughters. Now, as Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson's sexual assault suspension is now over, he'll be reminded of the reason he had to sit out 11 games this season. According to The Athletic's Kalen Collar, around 10 of the women who have accused Watson of sexual misconduct, including harassment and assault, will be at Sunday's game between the Houston Texans and the Browns. The women will be attending in a suite with their lawyer Tony Buzbee as Watson takes the field for the first time in a Cleveland uniform. Now, this will be Watson's first appearance in an NFL regular season game since January 3rd of 2021. He sat out the 2021 season after requesting a trade from Houston and in the middle of more than 24 accusations of sexual misconduct. While 2 Texas grand juries declined to indict Watson on criminal charges, he did settle lawsuits with 23 women, all of them represented by Buzbee, and 2 lawsuits are still ongoing. After being traded to the Browns and receiving a record fully guaranteed $230 million contract, an NFL investigation determined that the 27-year-old violated the league's personal conduct policy by committing sexual assault, posing a genuine danger to the safety and well-being of another person, and undermining or putting at risk the integrity of the NFL. The league and Watson agreed on a settlement for him to serve an 11-game suspension and pay a $5 million fine. And after serving his 11-game suspension to open the season, Watson was reinstated on Monday. Cleveland head coach Kevin Stefanski said that there was never any consideration for the 4-7 Browns to not start him versus the Texans on Sunday. Now, there are likely to be protests at his return after the suspension, and that will be a big part of the story this weekend. 3 News will be there. Of course, voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, is also our sports director, and he'll be calling that game. But we are also sending our Neil Fisher to cover what's happening on and off the field in Texas. Now, to an update in Northeast Ohio COVID numbers. As we get into the holiday season, COVID numbers are on the rise. According to the CDC, Ashtabula, Erie, Lorain, Mahoning, Medina, and Trumbull counties are all now at a high community level for coronavirus. Residents are now encouraged to wear face masks both indoors and outdoors in public, regardless of vaccination status. Cuyahoga County is at the medium or yellow level for now, despite seeing a rise in cases as well. Also in the yellow zone are Geauga, Huron, Lake, Portage, and Summit counties. All other Northeast Ohio counties are at the lowest green threshold. Also in health news, the World Health Organization has renamed the monkeypox disease to mpox. WHO says the original name of this decades-old animal disease could be misunderstood as discriminatory and racist. The statement, which they released yesterday, says both monkeypox and mpox would be used for the next year while the old name is phased out. WHO says it was concerned by the racist and stigmatizing language that came out with the spread of the disease to more than 100 countries. Many advocates approached the organization to find a way to change the name, and they listened, so that's why that change is taking effect. And now to good news for parents with kids in school. More than 700 K-12 schools in Ohio will share a $58 million grant for security upgrades. 708 schools across 57 counties are getting up to $100,000 each for new security cameras, public address systems, automatic door locks, visitor badge systems, and outdoor lighting. You can go to WKYC.com to find out if your child's school is on the list. Now, this happened over the holiday, but we wanted to make sure you're aware the Biden administration is once again extending the payment pause on federal student loans. Now, the pause was set to expire in January, but will now go through June or until the Supreme Court hands down a decision on challenges to Biden's student loan debt relief program. So right now, the program is paused, but applications are still open. And if the cases against it aren't resolved by June 30th, payments will resume 60 days after that. Okay, now let's turn to Tremont, where a heated confrontation between the owner of the Christmas Story house and a cast member of the movie happened about 2 weeks ago. It was on November 15th, the day after the house was put on the market. And this video we have coming up was shared by TMZ. It shows actor Yano Anaya and homeowner Brian Jones in a heated yelling match. Take a look at this.
Get the out. Leave now. Get away from my property. Don't ever come here again. Never, ever again. Leave now. I'm serious.
Anaya was seen taking photos with fans on the front steps of the home when Jones appeared from across the street, screaming at him to get off his property and never return. Now, Jones has since apologized, saying that he was concerned that fans would contribute to a GoFundMe to buy the house, which he said he wouldn't honor. Not exactly clear what's going on there, but it was made very clear that he does not want the actors from the movie buying that home. Now, the sale includes all associated properties like the neighboring Bumpus house, gift shop, and museum. The asking price, though, is still private for now and has not been listed. Now we have an update for you from the Good Neighbors Food Pantry in Akron. Earlier this year, the organization's van, which was used to transport thousands of pounds of food each week, was stolen. But today, we are happy to say they have received a new van. This comes at a time of year many turn to the food pantry for help, and our own Isabel Lawrence will have those details this evening. Now, today is Giving Tuesday, and if you weren't already aware, it's a day to inspire generosity around the world, and it happens each Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And today, Amazon donated $50,000 to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. Between the pandemic and growing inflation, the food bank has seen a greater need in the community, and so far this year, Amazon's Cleveland operations have donated about 50,000 pounds of food alone, so this money will be a big help. And that brings us to our question of the day. We'd love to know how you're giving back or what organizations you're supporting today for Giving Tuesday. Now for me, my best friend's baby girl turns 1 on Saturday. Happy early birthday to Georgiana Rose, and they are doing that thing where they donate her birthday to a cause. Well, they picked a rescue group called Cause for Canines, which is also where we got our puppy, Oscar Wild McCool. So that was an easy call for me. I was able to make a little donation there in her honor. But listen, if you want to participate, it doesn't have to be monetary. We'd love to know what you're doing to give back today. So let us know with a comment on the WKYC Facebook page, and we'll talk about it during What's New at 4 o'clock. Thank you for being here with us for another episode of 3 News Daily. We will see you back here tomorrow for more top stories from Northeast Ohio.